Okay guys, so I've tested it out. The choke itself does work, and that's all good. All the shiny stuff here is because I've actually been lubricating all this mechanism up here with a bit of 3-in-1 to make it a lot more manageable, because from the front it feels very stiff, and obviously I'm guessing it's probably because you've got this cable here. So obviously you've got the stiffness of that going from the front to the back of the car. It's basically almost like how like an old Rally 20 push bike, the rear cable for the rear brake literally does that, and therefore the rear brakes are pretty much hopeless on them. I used to have one, so I do know what I'm talking about. But basically, I established that it may be that from the front end of the car, it doesn't feel like you've got any travel at all on the handle, which doesn't really give you much positive feedback on what the hell's going on at the back of the car. It's sort of a matter of pull it and sort of try and start and see what it does, really. It's not really much precision to it at all, which isn't quite how I want it to be. So I did try, and I've kind of messed this one up now. I tried giving this part here where that's threaded in a bit of different angle, so that basically you've got more travel offensively, or should I say you've got more direct pull in that direction rather than it getting to about here and then it's sort of just pulling and pulling. But obviously for it to pull it in that direction, it needs to be pulling that way, but the cable's pulling that way, so that sort of loses its effect essentially on getting this last bit. If I push it myself like this, you get this extra little bit at the very end that operates the throttle, and that's really what it's missing now. So what I'm looking at doing is trimming this corner here off, because I've messed it up anyway. I've pushed the metal beyond its actual natural limit, so it's just split on this side. It's a bit of a shame, but it's part of the process, so it's one of the things. I'm going to try cut this bit here off, weld a piece on at a different angle, which will therefore mean that you've got, although you're going to have more travel of the cable, that will give you obviously your better feedback, but with having that different angle, you're going to have that pull in the correct direction, whereas at the minute you get to here and, well, it needs pulling that way and it's being pulled that way, so it doesn't really work effectively. So that's what I'm going to try and do next. Probably today, because it's getting very cold now and very dark, so it's getting more and more unbearable to be standing here trying to figure it out. So yeah, but making progress, and I'm so far very happy to say that although this setup isn't perfect, it has worked, so that makes me happy. So yeah, very satisfied. Hopefully I can improve on it very soon. So I'm working out now exactly what sort of an angle I need to weld the new piece on it. Suddenly I just realised that the easiest way to do it is actually put it in the closed position where you want it to be pulling. So obviously, as you can see, this is the issue I'm talking about. It's pulling that way, but it needs to pull that way further. So what I'm going to do is, what I'm thinking of is where obviously it starts to hit the body of the carburetor around here. If I was to take it, say, across that angle there, so it will be sticking out around about here, it will then still be pulling that way as per it needs to, and therefore it should then allow it to work properly. So it'll be sticking out around about here. It'd still pull like so. It would still pull, I believe. So I think that's a good start to have a go with. Right chaps, so this is the sort of more finalised version. I've re-threaded this end here, as you can see. Might be able to just about to see that. There you go. Now, when I was actually welding this bit back together onto here, for some strange reason, it was sort of almost going as though it was a gasless welder. So I'm not too sure what was going on there. However, it's solid enough that it's enabled me to grind it all back, as you can see, like so, this side where it matters, and it just allows me basically to test it. So that's exactly what I'm about to do. Here we go. So it's now all refitted. I've basically pulled it all the way back like so, made sure the cable was as tight as I can get it, clamped it all off. So nice and happy with that. What I'm now going to do is put all the air filter back on, because I won't need it off to do the final little bits and bobs, hopefully. So I'll pull that back on, then I'll pull the choke from the inside, try and start it, see how it goes. But essentially this is now completed. Pull all the way around like so, onto that little link just there, look. Voila. And that is how our little linkage works. Clever, eh?